Hello, my name is Pat Everham. I'm the manager of the water system for the city of Richland. All right, we're here today to try to help people understand a little bit about what we're doing here, and when we get to freezing weather, kind of an understanding of how the system works. So with the city water system, we have main lines that run down the streets, and they're usually 6 inches and larger to move that water out to the customers. Then at each point at each house, we've got what we call a service line, and that service line will tie into the main line and run the water to our water meters that feed to the house. The water meter itself is just an apparatus that measures the amount of water going to the house. We've got valves in there so we can shut that water off when needed from that point. And then once we get to the back of the meter box, everything that goes beyond this point is the customer's responsibility. So when we get a call and somebody's got frozen water or not having water at their house in the freezing time, what we do is our guys will come out here, we get into the meter box, and on the back side of the meter box we've got little nuts in there that hold it in place. We can crack that back one, and if the water is coming out the back one, then we know that it's not freezing in our meter box, so there's going to be something wrong beyond that point. Then that's when we'll get with the customer and try to help them contact somebody that can help them with whatever's frozen in their house. This is one of the vulnerable points during a freezing system just because it's got an opening to it. But once it gets past that point, we run into a lot of vulnerable points at the house, whether it's crawl spaces that have access so the wind and cold wind can blow through it. The spigots on the outside of the house. One thing that people forget to do is take the hoses off it, and that water sits in there, and that will freeze instantly. What the research tells us is that when it gets to 20 degrees, that's kind of the critical point. 20 and below will freeze pretty instantly any water that's just sitting there. A lot of times, just by cracking the faucet in your house and just letting it run a teeny bit, it's going to not allow it to freeze up that way, because that constant movement of the water doesn't allow it to sit and freeze up. It just keeps moving. So our guys will come out and check the meter. Anytime you have no water, we want you to call us so we can come out and at least do a quick assessment and find out what's going on. We'll check in our meter box to see what that is. If it is beyond this point, we'll work with you guys to figure out contacting somebody. Usually it's a plumber or somebody at least certified that can come in and do that kind of work, because unthawing pipes can be dangerous, it can cause fires and different things like that. So having the right people come in to help you is important. So one of the things that we run into is people sometimes forget to take the hose off their house at the end of the season. So when it does that, that water just sits there and it has a chance to freeze. When you get it off, there's other options that you have to help keep it from the wind blowing across it and freezing it quickly. Styrofoam covers on these things help, because it helps hold that temperature in and it keeps the wind from blowing across it to freeze. Also, if you know that there's thin walls and areas, something behind like this, they do sell heat tape. You can buy it like Lowe's and Home Depot and some of those places, that you can actually go in and put it around your pipe and it just plugs in, and it will help keep that warmth enough to where it won't freeze. When you're in a situation, you want to know where your main shutoff line is, the valve to your house. So if you don't know where that is, sometimes you can call a plumber or somebody come out and help you locate it. But having that access to that and knowing where it's at will save you a lot of time and damage to your house if you can get that shut off immediately. If you don't know, and if they come out and they don't find it, one of the things we can do is we can come out and we can shut the water off here and have them install it for you, so that way you know you've got a safe place to turn your water off and get to it immediately. So when we're talking about that shutoff valve, the main shutoff you're looking for, the most common area where they come up is where your water heater's at and your washer and dryer is at. It's usually in that room somewhere is where it comes into the house. Not always there. Sometimes that's why the plumber will come in and try to help you find it. That way if anything breaks or bursts or has something, you can immediately get it shut off and not have to wait for somebody to come out and get to the meter to shut off for you.